a song of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.
Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of the Orangemen from Rutherglen. This evening, today we have a member with over 40 years in the Orange, 30 as Lodge Chaplain of his Lodge, and also recognised by many as a Bible bearer and now standard bearer of the County Grand Lodge of Glasgow, leading many Orange parades through the city carrying the word of God. He's a member of the district's oldest lodge in Rutherglen, True Blues LOL 12, and tonight I'm glad to welcome Bro Alex McCall. Alec, thanks very much for coming tonight and sharing your stories in the Orangemen from Rutherglen. It's great to have you. I know there's been a wee couple of weeks we've not been able to get to them, but I'm glad we've managed to sit down and have a conversation with you. Brilliant. So just to go back to the start, many probably thought you were in Lodge 12 all your Orange career, but you actually started in LOL 315 in Denniston. How did you come about joining 315?
315, I joined 315 when my family were mostly staying around about the Denniston area, and that was when I turned 18. I joined the lodge, obviously through my father being an Orangeman over the years and watching the parades and that. So I decided when we were at, I'll join 17 district, and by that time my father transferred from 10 district Springburn or Bank Street to Denniston to 17 district, so I joined 17 district.
What made you make the decision to join? Was it just you came to the age where you wanted to join, or did you know right?
I've always wanted to join it. I never went through juveniles or anything like that, but I always wanted to, and then the day I turned of age, I said to my dad, I want to join the lodge.
That's it,
and that was it. It just sprung up for then.
Because I know obviously you've got all your nieces and stuff that have all come through Orange as well. Was there a reason when you were younger you never joined the junior juveniles, or was it just something that was never really...
It wasn't, my father never really pressured me to join the juveniles or anything like that, right? I went and I've seen the parades, I watched the parades for many years when I was that size up, and when we stayed in Springburn at the time, my dad's a janitor and that, so he travelled about places. So we were at Springburn at the time, we used to watch them go in Springburn Park.
Brilliant.
And I used to love seeing the wheels when they spun the cords and all that back in the days. So I did want to, but I never ever got round to it.
I know it's like, we've heard a lot of people like, talking about years ago when you used to cord boys and last that stuff, and it's something that I wish was allowed to come back as well, because I remember when I was younger, I used to watch the parades and you seen them swinging the colours, it looked so much fun, but I think there's a lot of stricter rules on that now. But do you remember how you felt in your first meeting? Were you nervous? Did you know what to expect or anything? Or
I was very nervous in my first meeting. Very nervous, because you're sitting with people that you're not really too, you weren't really too sure. You knew a few people, but there's other people, and then if they weren't at the meeting that night and you're there, you're kind of...
It's amazing, because when obviously we did this conversation, we've spoke to district masters and stuff like yourself. It's been in the Orange a long time, done a lot of it, and I think it's no matter who the person is, if they've been at it, they always, that first meeting, they can always still remember the nerves, everything going, oh, this is quite daunting. But I always say it's like, because I was the same. It was so, because I only knew Brother Smith kind of when I came into the Orange, and I remember sitting going, oh, the suit, the ties, all quite formal. But it's amazing. We always say it as well, because I think when people watch this, we like to give a wee insight to, if they ever want to join the Orange, that you will be nervous. The top people have always been nervous, but there's always people there to make sure you'll be all right, isn't it? Because I look at somebody like yourself that leads the parade, does the chaplain, because you're a great chaplain as well, and I think he was never nervous. There's no way he was never nervous, but it just shows that first moment.
Well, the nerves are there.
You're sitting there.
You maybe no show it, but you're there, believe in me.
Inside, you're definitely.
Definitely.
How long were you a member in Denniston?
How long was I a member? Oh, about maybe say 4 years maybe. Yeah, about 4 years, and then that was when the district folded. And then we decided to, my late father Alex McCall, and also late brother William McFadgen, and brother David Wright from 246 past master. He was a member of the same lodge as well, and then we transferred to Rutherglen, moved into Rutherglen. That was us.
So was it 4 years in Orange in the full district, sort of sort of folded, was that?
It was on the I think it was on the verge, just about to go, and that it went about the 4 year and about that, it's kind of went down, you know.
See, during your time in Dennis and you were in 315 and 316, was there anybody in the lodge at the time there that stood out to you that maybe you looked up to, even though it was only a couple of 4 years, but looked up to or had influenced you a wee bit during then?
There was one man that helped us form the Lodge 316 was brother Jim Baxter, but not the Jim Baxter that played the Rangers obviously, you know, but a brother James Baxter, and yeah, he was good on my career with the Orange, you know. He'd been an Orangeman for many years, you know, in that district.
See, your dad was in Lodge, was he massive influence on you, or did he maybe try and just let you, were you always sort of, destined to go into the Orange, or did he let you sort of make your own kind of mind up and do what you wanted to do?
He left it to myself, and I just came up to him that day and I said to him, I just want to join the Lodge now, Dad.
That's good.
That was, of course, his pride and joy.
Definitely, of course.
So,
because I know it's good to hear, because some like yourself, because I was the same. I was up to when I wanted to join it as well. Mum and Dad never really made it, but you get the ones that are cradle rolled, and it's just a way their life is. And excuse me, and it's just always interesting to see the comparison if your dad was join the Orange, or if it was just like if it happens type of thing. But
I waited till my time, and then I says, no, I'm going to join. I wouldn't have said I wasn't going to join. I knew within myself that I wanted to. It was just when I wanted to do it, you know what I mean? So
is that just with the time you just knew it was right?
I knew it was right,
to do this. Do you wish you joined earlier or later, or is it that wish you?
I probably would. I say I would. When I was younger, I would. Because you were standing there watching it, you're like, you want, you know, your own way. You're so proud. And then you see your dad passing by, you're waving to your dad, and you know, you're like, I wish to be a part of that. But for some reason, I just backed away. I don't know why.
Just not.
I think it was maybe due to the fact I didn't have. There weren't many of my friends in it. Maybe that was why, you know.
Could definitely be a part, because I know
if I had a lot of friends, maybe then I would have, you know.
No, definitely. So a lot of ones I've joined in the Credo, they usually say that 2 or 3 for the street joined and things like that. So it makes it a bit. Maybe it's just like, how would you even go about doing that kind of thing? So you then decided to join Rutherglen True Blues LOL 12. Why did you make the decision to join 12? We know you the Lodge folded, the district folded, so that was why.
The reason I joined 12 was because my dad was a member of 12 first.
Oh, did he already make the transfer for
So then I followed on and came on with him.
Right, so just that was what was going to happen.
And when I joined Lodge 12, it was Bro Montgomery was on the chair at that time.
Oh, right. So a good man to set you to go into his master.
Definitely.
How did you feel transferring at the time? I know it was like sort of a district folded, so it's not a wee bit different for you.
It's always sad when a district folds, right? So there was, because there was a lot of people there, and they all went different ways, different lodges and things like that when it folded, you know. Still see some to this day, obviously, you know what I mean? And still, some of them are running about the Dennis and still in it, you know. So, but aye.
Is Denison District still going again? Is it
Denison District's still on the go. It's to 12 District.
Oh, right, is that right?
That's what it's there. So you had 17 for Finlay Drive. When that district folded, I think they all kind of went into 12 District.
Right, because you always hear about Denison District still being talked about, just in case people are like, well, I'm sure I've heard them still in there before. See, when you joined in, did you feel as if you were starting the Orange again? Or did they not have that? Was it just...
No, I didn't think I was starting again, no, because you knew what it was about, because you'd already been through it, so you kind of knew. It was just a case of getting to know your new brothers and that, you know what I mean? Your new brothers, sisters in the district and that.
Also, the first lodge, me and Bill Smith joined in, it was 12 as well, so we know where you're coming from. It's a lodge that's got great influencers in it that will help you all the time and stuff like that. So even if you're going into somewhere like 12, even just straight off the box, you would never ever feel uncomfortable in a lodge like 12. No. So we're going into 12, it's probably one of the easier lodges to, although they're all good, but to go in, because at the time, obviously the Bro McFarlane, very active still, Bro Montgomery stuff, it's right active, good, well fought Orangemen. Did you think they helped you a lot?
Oh aye, big time. Bro Montgomery, brother McFarlane, also brother George Dixon, and also brother John Brown. These were all great influences on me, every one of them. And but I used to like, after a meeting, go for a wee pint and have a wee drink with Bro McFarlane and that, and used to sit with them, and the history would tell you about the Orange. I learned a lot from them, you know what I mean? They've inspired me quite a lot, you know what I mean?
Like me and Brother Smith of that, because a lot of the lodges don't sort of stay for a wee harmony after that, and I know 12, I was in 2013 doing your in, excuse me, but with sitting with Brother McFarlane and things like that is, you just think the history you can get from him as well.
Amazing,
It's,
amazing.
Just stuff that you wouldn't even ever know.
No.
It's that, and it's a great, like, I know if it goes in there, like, the Orangeman was brilliant as well, great influence as well, but just that, I don't know if it's just because it was my first lodge as well, and they helped you so much as well, so I think it's like, they also have a special place in your heart for that kind of, like, Dennis and Mike be the same for you as well, do you mean? But it's a great lodge for them, as you said, just the history that's in, and that's one of the reasons me and Brother Smith thought about doing these, like, we sort of podcast episodes, because if when they go, well, hopefully it's not anytime soon, but like they go, it's like it's going to be lost. And we've got in this district, Orangemen and women, we've got far too many, like, the stories they can tell and things, and it's just trying to get someone on to do it because they get a bit anxious and nervous. But it's just to say that once they go, the stories don't ever, they go away with them, and we want to try and keep that going. It's like just, oh, you've got Brother McFarlane yourself, what you've done in the Orange has been unbelievable. I mean, as well, the history you've got as well, so it's good to get a different variety.
I had a wee chuckle when Bro McFarlane's interview was going on, because he was talking about the chaplains and that, and he was talking about the chaplain for the district and myself, and he says, when he appears, he's not to laugh at that one, because obviously some meetings I couldn't attend because of my work commitments and that, but it was the David said, Bro McFarlane said it, it was funny.
He has a character.
Oh, he's a character, aye,
it's
definitely.
like some of the stuff when he was saying it, you're thinking, don't know if that's going to get approved. So you just know, but it was good because they'll always be there. I think Brother Smith's kept an edited version, so they'll be always there for to show that maybe like private settings type of thing. But is that so? If in the East, is there still any, maybe not for Denison, that you still see that helped you through your time?
Still see a lot. When I went through my second degree, it was Brother John Ingram, senior, that put me through my second degree. And I went through my second degree in Tully Street, believe it or not.
I was Tully Street.
Tully Street once, I went through it.
That's all right, isn't it?
So and he's still on the go, Brother John Ingram.
It's good to see them go, because, as I said, they carry so much through for everything, don't they?
Yep.
That's great. We're just going to take a wee break just now and show some adverts from the district and the 20 Social Club, and when we return we'll continue our episode with Brother McCall.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangeman, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen and Rutherglen.
Hello, welcome to the 20 Social Club.
The 20 Social Club are opened at the moment and are committed to following all government restrictions to provide a safe environment for our customers. Therefore, some aspects in our advert, such as live entertainment, may not be available until restrictions are lifted. Please remember facts for a safer Scotland. Wear a face covering to protect yourself and others in enclosed spaces. Avoid places which may be crowded. Clean your hands thoroughly and regularly. Keep a 2-metre distance from other people. And self-isolate and book a test if you show any symptoms. Stay safe, protect others, save lives.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen and Rutherglen.
Welcome back to the Orangemen from Rutherglen. Well, great to see that restrictions have eased a bit more and most of us are on level 2 now, where the 20 Social Club is back opened 7 days a week up until 10:30 as is of the restrictions just now, with live entertainment on a Saturday night, and we're great to see he's back down and enjoying the entertainment of the 20 Social Club. I'm back with Brother Alex McCall. Like in LOL 12, you've held the chaplaincy for over 30 years. How did you come to take the chaplaincy on?
Well, one of the reasons I went for chaplaincy was because obviously my church duties and that. Because I was an elder in my church, then I became a presbytery elder. I've been to general assemblies, you name it, and that's what kind of inspired me. And I like doing the work of God, obviously, through the Bible and things like that. And you know, so that's what kind of inspired me to do it.
So you're always destined to sort of take chaplain?
Listen, I've been asked to work my way up the ladder and that, but I've always thought, no, I like doing what I'm doing.
No,
I love
definitely.
doing what I'm doing, aye. Yeah.
It's weird to think when I joined 12 at the start, when I joined on your chaplain at the time as well, and it's a bit...
I've seen a few masters in my time, put that way.
As you say, you've always taken a serious interest in the church by taking an active role, which you just spoke there, and have taken some religious dedicating to the lodge room. Do you find it's important for Orange members to be active in their own church?
I do, yes. I feel a wee bit kind of, I think maybe that one's, nobody forces them to go to church. You don't have to go to church to believe in God. You can worship God in your own house, obviously. Get your Bible, a wee couple of readings, a wee couple of prayers into yourself, you know. But the Orange basically is based on the Bible, and our degree work lots off through the Bible and that. It's a Christian organisation, but as I said, it's just the way it is now, the way things are with Church of Scotland and the Orange just now, so...
Obviously, before we came on, they were just talking about the sort of relationship with the church and excuse me, the organisation, which it's sad to see that the relationship's not what we should have. And we were talking there as well that one of the reasons why these podcasts are well to show people that might be just dipping in to look at them. Oh, there's the Orange Order again. Oh, they're playing by the chapels and stuff like that. Like, to show them that that's not what we don't get pride in day and stuff. That's not what we go to go. Oh, it's played by the chapel. That's great. It's like, we are a religious organisation. We're doing it because we're out there to spread our word of God and stuff like that. And it's just to show that we are deep religious based as well. Although I don't know, I feel like people say that we're not in tandem with the Church of Scotland as now, but I can only hope that can come back in, and
certainly,
whoever can deal with that higher up can sit round and actually get that back to, because it's amazing. A lot of the people that come on my podcast, I remember the church, are Orange Order members to show that. But I think it's just the way the Orange has been sort of portrayed now, media show it, all that stuff, that we're just sort of, we're bigots for that stuff, and it's not at all. We're totally opposite for that. We don't want to play by chapel stuff. Like, we, you know yourself, our district secretaries, is constant communication with the Catholic Church and stuff like that, to make sure, because we don't want to disrupt Protestant services, Catholics, Islamic services, Jewish. We don't want to do any of that.
No.
But we're there just to put it in the street and do it as well. And I think having people like yourself that are so active in the church to bring it in the Lord's room, it's a great thing. I think you're probably one of the ones that's mainly deeply in the church that's come on as well, because it shows that there is plenty of religious people in the organisation that love both of them, and it's good to see actually sit down with somebody that takes such a massive influence in the church as well, and it is good to see that we are a religious organisation. Do you know what I mean? And that's what fundamentally we're based on.
Yep. That's truly, yep.
It's just that there's, because the church is, it's everything we do, degree work, everything all comes through the Bible. And it's people like yourself that, and even as well our own chaplain, Brother Jamieson, it's what they're doing. It's good to see chaplains in the organisation like him, because when you being in 12, when you read through the Bible, you feel it.
You do.
And it's like when you've been to some places where people read the Bible and not too sure. I've been one myself, I had to step in and go, I don't know what that means and stuff like that, but it's just hearing from somebody that's passionate. It's great listening to it, and when you go to church services and stuff like that, you get a minister that right into it, and it's good.
It is good, but it's like when you get, I don't like, sometimes you get it when a minister will give you a reading to do in the church, and you go up to do that reading, and there's a big massive word you cannot pronounce. And you go out and you're trying for hours and hours to work this before you get this reading, and then when you get the reading, you come to the reading, you're stuck on it. if they're learning it and you know the word, and then you get there at a time and all these people are looking, you go, oh no, I can't say this right. He's going to be listening to me, he's going to make a fool of me after this. Exactly, you know what I mean? But,
and I think some of the words you can just sort of say what you think, because people are just like, well, that seems right, we'll go with that. But you start overthinking it and going, that word's coming up, the word's coming up. And it's bad,
and there is a lot of big words in the Bible, as you know, awkward ones.
In recent years, you've held office in the county Grand Lodge's Bible Barrier, carrying the open Bible at the head of parades organised by the county of Glasgow. How did you become elected into that office in the county level?
That's a good one, that is. That was through a good friend of my father's and a good friend of myself, Brother William Marshall. Got me involved, and also the previous Bible bearer was Brother Jim Kelty, whom I knew, and Jim was wanting to step down, so I kind of, he asked me if I wanted to come into County Grand Lodge, so he elected me for the County Grand Lodge, put me forward for County Grand Lodge, and I was accepted, and I took over the Jim Kelty's position as Bible bearer.
How long did you do the Bible bearing for?
I'm not too sure now, I can't. So you've asked me to get back. A good few years anyway.
Can you still remember your first parade as a Bible bearer walking?
Aye, my first parade I can, aye. And Brother Malcolm Campbell was the Chief Marshal at the time, you know, so he kind of kept me right as well. As Brother Marshall was the Assistant Chief Marshal, so they kind of kept me right. It's nerve-wracking because you're at the front of the parade, and you're walking straight down in the crowd. The minute you hit the crowds, that's when it does get to you, you know what I mean? But you try your best, you don't want to do your best, I mean, but you've always got somebody at the back of you anyway, go up, you know, a step, right, okay, you know what I mean?
That's what it is, like, also when the time the band doing the standard bearer, you used to be like the step, try to look behind to see where you are and stuff like that.
You feel funny when you're not taking a wee skip, you know?
Exactly. I think it's also important as well, because I don't know if people like watching, there's people watch that are no in the Orange or maybe fighting about, but it's just so, like, obviously if you can give me insight to why we have the open Bible at the front of our parades, just to link back at the church, would you give me a wee bit of why you feel that's important, that the open Bible with the crown is on parade?
The open Bible and the crown at the front of the parade is the main, as I said, the main part of our institution. it's based on the Bible.
Exactly.
The Orange Order is based purely on the Bible, and that's why we have that open Bible. And obviously we're our loyalty and allegiance to Queen and Country and that, you know, so.
I think it's because maybe people might even notice it because other people have the band to show that every one of our parades will be open Bible, the crown on it, and that will always lead the parade because obviously it's linked so much to the church as well, and it's definitely important. Yeah. So Iggy, now standard bearer now?
I'm standard bearer now, still
So,
standard bearer just now.
Are you no Bible bearer? Are you still?
No, just standard bearer.
Just standard bearer. So was that
just
did you sort of, they'll just keep continuing on that kind of, what made you decide to take, or was it another, Alec, will you be?
It was just another election came up,
Yeah.
and you know, a position came up and I said, you might take that, and I got that, so.
There you go. So
You know,
so at least you'll still be up the front.
I'll still be there anyway, you know what I mean? That's it, you know what I mean? But aye. No, don't get me wrong, it's a proud moment for me if you've been in it, to walk at the front of the parade and that, you know what I mean? And then it's even better when your family members are watching you and you know, you feel
definitely.
angry, you know what I mean? But as I said, I've done okay. I've worked my way up to certain levels and that, you know what I mean? I'm no better than anybody else, put it that way.
Oh, definitely, that, but no, because what I think maybe people don't watch it realise that when they see yourself at the front or the district master, with, like if some don't, oh, he's a different chain or whatever, so you don't realise that it's a lot of dedication and hard work to where the people aren't. I mean, it's like, also like as well with the district, people don't go in the district to do this or do that, but they're there because they're trusted, and you're trusted that, so it's when people look at them go, well, do you know what, that's actually, to be looking go, there's a reason why he's there, because he's worked hard and you're dedicated to it as well, and a lot, you don't get paid to do that kind of stuff, you're coming for work to meetings to this as well, and I don't think people realise that there is a lot of dedication being an Orangeman, that a lot of people that see the thing to think the parades, oh that's all it is, but there's a lot more than just the parades. I mean, it's just everything's about in a meeting and the whole is it. It's definitely a part of it. You're active in LOL12's annual Remembrance Parade every November by help to organise it, participate in the short service each year. How much does it mean to you to be part of that service as your role as chaplain?
It means a lot. It's a great honour today at a service at a cenotaph and pay your respects in that way. You know what I mean? It really is. As I said, I do my sermons myself, obviously I make them up myself and that, and my readings I pick as well, you know what I mean? But I usually keep the same kind of readings. It's at the cenotaph, usually do the same one every time because it's more appropriate for the Lord's my shepherd than
definitely.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, it's great because it's one parade that people don't really actually look forward to as well as a Remembrance Parade, because it's a big part of our organisation as well, isn't it? Like to remember those that obviously
the hairs in your back stand up, you know what I mean? It's just, in fact, you actually get tears to your eyes, you know what I mean? It's a proud moment for me to do that, you know?
No, definitely, and it's a bit different, the parade as well, isn't it? Because it has that sort of feel through the parade, like we're doing them. You've that sort of, as I remember, feel right goes through the parade. It's not just like,
what you know, when you're parading with your office bearers at the front, you've got your Bible in your arm, and your master's got the reef carrying the reef, and you're walking round to the cenotaph, and people are seeing you, and that, you know what I mean? It's respect,
definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's a proud moment, not just for myself, but for everybody taking part in it.
Oh, definitely.
You know, because it's important that we remember these people that fought and died for us, you know what I mean? That's the thing.
And it's a massive part of this as well, those that made the ultimate sacrifice and are still out serving for our Queen and Country. Just as well on that was, hopefully we should be able to get it this year. Fingers crossed everything for the pandemic goes away and we can get back out to obviously remember them. How hard was it, obviously the year? I know there was a lot of bigger things going on, but 12, that's a big part of 12 is the Remembrance Day parade. I know something you take a lot of pride in. Was it hard for you watching it? Oh, I know there's a grand scale of things going, but a wee bit deep down going that you just weren't having the usual Remembrance parade. Was that a wee bit tough?
Well, it was. I ended up, I had a wee discussion with my master brother Kenny McCall at the time, and I phoned him up and I says to him, how would you like if we could just get the office bearers ourselves to meet up at the cenotaph and do a wee service and put the reefs down? And he went, it's a good idea, Alec, we'll do that, and we ended up doing that.
So it's good to still.
And any time I've never been, if I've not been able to manage it myself, Brother Jameson Gordon always steps in for me, which I appreciate, you know what I mean?
No, that's exactly it. But it's just good to also, like, hopefully we can get it this year again. Hopefully the restrictions and everything the world sort of eases off. Is there any memory or event in over your time in the Orange that made you feel particularly proud? Because you've done a lot, like Bible bearers, that's that, but is there anything through your time in the Orange event, that time I really loved?
The only thing, For basically, you meaning myself?
Aye, not for yourself.
Just for
just
myself.
personally.
Well, I think getting a position in my lodge was a proud moment for me.
I enjoy that.
Definitely, aye, because it's always you either want to or you don't want to. You know what I mean? But as I said, all these people, if you've got a position in your lodge and that, right, doesn't mean to say you're any better than anybody that sits round. It's all about everybody.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? So you're no any higher than anybody else. So you might be a master of a lodge or whatever, but you're just the same. It's just a normal brother and sister like everybody else.
That's
you know
exactly
it. You know, but that was my proudest moment when I got the chaplaincy.
Yeah.
Aye.
And also knowing you through the
You
years.
can tell with all the years, obviously, they're still going.
No.
But it's that funny because when they come in and we're getting my re-elections and that for, you know, and it's usually, I think it's, is it Stuart? Not here, is it? Dougie Aitken. Sorry. Aye, Brother Dougie Aitken. Brother Dougie Aitken, it doesn't. And it always comes to chaplain. I mean, they always know right away, do you know what I mean? It's Bro McCall.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Re-elect. You know, it's, you know, but I'm proud of, you know what I mean? But,
Oh, definitely.
you know,
And I think
sometimes kind of like, dare be funny turn here and saying, no, I don't want it. See what you say, you know? But no, I wouldn't do that, no.
No, definitely, because obviously you're well known for your being active in the church, and the role is perfect, and you do it really so well. So I think that's obviously probably just comes to it, like, don't even need to ask. Just Alex McCall and that. As well, we've been part of 12. I know, like, for being myself, the social nights that the lodge nights, social nights and things like that. Do you feel they're important to the lodge as well?
Oh aye, the social nights are I couldn't get many because of my shifts work and all that usually, but any time I went to social nights, it's a great way of bringing people together.
Definitely.
Loved it, you know. And when my father was alive, obviously he came up with the idea of the country and western nights, and he was actually a member of the Grand Ole Opry at the time.
Oh, was he?
And brought two gunslingers along to the lodge night, and they had bales of hay out the floor and all that. Brother McFarlane, Brother Montgomery with their cowboy hats on and all that. Great night. And I believe to this day some of them still have country and western nights. I don't know.
I think it's why, even through generations, like for my grand and stuff like that, country music will always be, let's say, a wee bit of part and parcel with the Orange. Because even as well, a lot of the music with it comes through sort of country songs with it, and you can't beat country western there. But I remember Brother McFarlane talking about the country nights with the bales of hay and things like that. And
he loved every minute of them, so he did, you know what I mean? The one that stands in my mind was the time when they had the gunslingers in, and they asked people to come forward if they wanted to take a wee shot at the gunslinging with them, you know what I mean? And Brother McFarlane, when he was in his glory,
I can imagine
you know, Brother Montgomery loved that as well, you know what I mean? It was great. But we kept that going for quite a while in the lodge, so we did, you know what I mean? And then obviously as people getting on and things that kind of fell away a bit, but I've heard some of the lodges still have a wee odd night and a wee country western night.
Exactly. I think because
bangers and mash a lot,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think it's just where as well, like maybe like some of the older generation don't kind of get to as many now and that stuff, and if it's a wee country western night, they'll make the habit going, because it probably takes them back as well, isn't it? As you said, just but the social nights, how it's important, and I think even more so for what's been happening in the world and now the pandemic, and it's good to see places opening up, and obviously it's just to let people know that we are open back up in the club as well again, because I know that for maybe over a year or so that nobody's had any interactions as well, and you can go down, the place is cleaned well enough, it's safe, the distances are all kept as well, but just say it's good to hopefully maybe get back sooner rather than later to the full nights as well. And even as I said with the social nights, hopefully we can try and get the games nights back with 12 and 2:30.
They were great nights.
Always loved them as well.
Great nights, though.
I think you still have the trophy, I think, as well. I don't think the 12 still had that.
Maybe.
No, I think you still have it, so I think we need to try.
I know we had it at one point, but I don't.
I think you still had it. It's really well since
because we didn't start off too well on that one, by the way.
So hopefully we can get them back to.
They're great events. You know what I mean? It's good to see, and it's harmony between the brothers and that. And I mean, even 20 districts always been like the lodges all support one another, different various functions and things like that and all, which is good as well. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. I'm sure other districts do the same as well. You know what I mean? The lodges, that's what it's all about. Socialising is quite a big part in it, in the Orange. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, it really is.
Big part.
Just being on for obviously that as well. You had a time in the Bluebell as well. Excuse me.
I did, yeah.
Like, we like to mention the Bluebell as well because obviously the district band are just as much of this hall as the lodges as well, and they'll always help the lodges out as well and stuff like that. So what was your sort of early remembrance of being in the Bluebell?
Well, my earliest remembrance of being in the Bluebell was when I first parade in Belfast.
Oh, was it?
Aye, and then I think the one after that was we went to Bangor one year as well, and it was great. But the guys in the band at the time were characters, you know what I mean? They got a brilliant laugh from them.
I imagine so.
I mean, there's a lot of things I could say, but what was that? What happened in the Blue Bill stays in the Blue Bill, obviously.
To be fair, that's probably best to keep it. What did you do in the Blue Bill? What were you?
I played the side drum to start with, and then I went on to the flute.
The flute, did you both of them? So
I've done both.
Multi-talented in the band.
If you want to say that.
Just coming back for that case of, if there's any young people watching this thinking about joining, what advice would you give them to join in the Orange Order?
To join it? Yeah. Oof. I don't know really, basically. I would say to look into the organisation itself first before they join, and think long before they join, obviously, to see if it's going to be for them or no for them, obviously, you know what I mean? So
things like a lot of dedication, but I think we'll tell people as well, because there was
the sad thing about the situation with the Orange just now is we're not getting enough young people coming in. That's a sad thing about it. When years ago you used to go on the bus runs and all that, and do all sorts of games and all that with the juveniles and that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's sad to see.
No, definitely. It's just, I think there's obviously something there that needs to be fixed as well, that hopefully we can do over the years. But I think even well, I said from this as well in the pandemic, I think that even the district alone are going to look as if they're going to make members as well, so that's good.
Yep.
But just as well, like, to be able to come is like, dedication is also a massive part to it, but family, work and stuff like that will always come first in a sense, because I know some people might go, I don't want to join because I work every second Saturday, so I can't make parades.
Yep.
But it's like your meetings are the most important, will always be the most important thing. And it's just that as well, because obviously when we come out to Orange and do it, people like yourselves, but we look up to as well the highest in members, and it's to say that it's a great organisation to be part of. I mean, it really is, isn't it? Like, the harmony for everybody is great, and it's just the young people that get a shot, because it's not as daunting and it's not as bad as you think.
That's what you can say to them, basically. Try it out, and if they don't like it, then obviously they can step back for it. You know what I mean? But I would urge any young kid that wants to go for it, and if you've got any ex-members or whatever that are Orange people in their family, I would say go for it and see what like it is. If they like it, fair enough, they stick it. If they don't, then they don't. It's no problem, you know what I mean? That's it.
That's exactly it. Well, Alex, thanks for coming down, agreeing to come on. Well,
no problem, it's been a pleasure.
It's been great listening to you, so thanks very much. And thanks everyone for tuning in to this month's Orangemen from Rutherglen. We will be back next month with another episode, and we do apologise for the wee break in the month or so, a couple of months that was there. There's just things going on. I know he's really looking forward to them, but that should be us back up and running. And thanks for tuning in, and give us a like, a share on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Thanks very much.
I'll sing a song of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.